काञ्चनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
So we will start today's class. See, our human mankind, okay, all the living beings around us. Not only mankind, this is applicable, but to all living forms. You know, we all live certain virtues, good values. What is virtues? Good values. Okay. The moral standard. We always a very civilized society means the moral standards are high. So in previous yugas like Satya Yuga, these moral standards were very, very high. Okay. So one of this quality is, dana. That means tyaga, that you giving alms to others. You give, not only you can give alms, you can give the knowledge to others, you can give wealth to others. Okay, so this is a common practices we do. We give when we for no reason, like it is not expecting anything back. Without expecting anything back, when you give others selflessly, okay, without any selfish thing in mind, when you give wealth, yeah, knowledge, when you give to others, that is called dana. That is selflessness. Okay. So in Hindu mythology, there are many great danas that we can see. I mean, sacrifices that has gone to the extent of sacrifices. When you say that sacrifice, when the dana will turn into a sacrifice, when give your life itself there. Okay, more than money, more than knowledge, for not expecting anything back. Without expecting anything back, if you give away your life, say that this is supreme, kind of dana. That the kind of dana is what supreme. And we are going to today learn about personality in Hindu mythology who did this kind of supreme, who was very, very generous to the extent that he gave up his life, for a big. And this story of Dhadichi Mashi, okay, the Dhadichi. And, this in earlier periods, there were constant war between Devas and Asuras. You know about this? Devas and Asuras were constantly fighting among each other for one or other reason. Always, Rakshasas, demons, to conquer heaven, Loka, and they wanted all, wealth. They robbed all wealth, and they used to harm and kill Devas also. So this kind of tussle was always going on between Devas and Asuras. Okay. For fighting war, what you need, if you want to fight war, with others, not only with your hand, you need what?
Weapons.
Yes, very good. You need weapons. Without weapons, you cannot fight, right? Now, there is a kung fu like fighting is there with hand. They don't use weapons. But the war that happened between Devas and Asuras, actually, there were lot of weapons were very lethal weapons, very, sharp and very powerful weapon was actually
Powerful.
used. Yeah, very powerful weapons were used. And, what these Rakshasas, yeah, they did, they came and robbed the weapons from Devas. Okay, so Devas lost so many weapons. Okay, so if they are having, if their weapons quantity reduces, what will happen? Won't be able to win the war with asuras. No, asuras will take over them. So, and that time, a big, was there, very powerful. Asura was, like pen, like, this was like dragon, dragon, Chinese dragon, like, dragon, yeah, dragon. This, what do you say? Rakshasa was in the shape of like dragon, was in the shape of a serpent or dragon and all we can see. And he was very powerful. This dragon was very, very powerful. And when the name of the dragon was Vritrasura. Vritrasura. What is the name of the dragon? That serpent demon, yeah, Vritrasura. And he came to attack Devaloka. Devaloka, who is there? All the Devas and Indra is there. No, Indra is the ruling Devaloka. So he came to attack Devaloka, and Devas were running here and there because they were robbed, they were attacked. This Vritrasura was having upper hand, because he was more powerful. He had more powerful weapons also, and they are very deep. Their strength was immense compared to Deva. So, with whatever remaining weapons, Devas ran, and they were thinking, how can we save our weapons? Because without weapons, if these asuras are coming and robbing all our weapons, what will happen? We won't be left with any weapon to fight in the future. So, they went, and before hiding, they were going here and there, hiding, because Vritrasura was attacked Devaloka. And then they all Devas with the Indra and all the Devas, they went to one sage, one very, very divine sage, Maharshi, you can say, Devarshi, called Dhadji. And they went to Dhadji, and this sage, this big sage, and they prayed, begged him, "Oh Rishi, we are attacked by whom? By asuras. Demons are attacking us, and please save us. Please take care of our weapons. Okay, we will just keep this in your what do you say? We want to keep in possession. You take care of our weapons." So, and sage was not very happy. Why? Because he has got his routine. He has to meditate. He has to do his morning things, course, and full time he will be meditating. And this got disrupted. This all will get disrupted. But he knows this is for great cause. And what is that great cause? Fighting asuras. So this is for this big cause that these are being entrusted to his protection by Devas. So what happened? Sage said, "Okay, you just leave me, but come back and take your weapons away." Okay, so I can't just leave it temporarily at my possession, but then come back and you take it. So, and he took it, he kept it. And what he was in very big problem, he found a big problem with taking care. He always had to take, care of these weapons. Why? Because always asuras are coming and attacking him. Why? For what? Asuras are coming and for taking these weapons away. Because they know, if the asuras know, if Devas have no weapons, then they can be easily defeated. They won't be able to come back and pose a threat to asuras. Okay, Devas can be easily defeated without weapons. So always asuras, they were attacking this sage. They were disturbing him. They wanted to rob off his weapons entrusted to him by Devas. Okay, I have to understand, all of you. So, and every time he could not concentrate in his, meditation, daily course, because all the rishis, they are not simply sitting. After they get up morning, they do their snan, their pranams and all, then they will straight away go to meditation. They full time, they are, they want to meditate only. That is their soul, what do you say, urge. And the sage, he cannot do meditation. Why? Because he of his full time he has to take care of these weapons which was entrusted to him by Deva. So he was in lot of trouble because of that. He was not very happy about this condition, and he was like a fish out of water. Full time he has to take care of, and in between asuras are also coming and troubling him for these weapons. And long time happened. This who is not coming. These people are not coming. Devas are not coming to take back their weapon. And who got fed up of it? Our sage Dhadichi. He got fed up of this. Fed up of taking care of these weapons. So what he did? He's a very, very powerful sage. What he did? He took all the weapon and he put all this inside his kamandalu. Kamandalu? All the sages have a kamandalu, a small pot that carries holy water.
It's full of holy water.
Yeah, that is it. That a pot containing holy water. They carry this holy water. So what the sage Dhadichi did, he took all the weapons given to him inside for this kamandalu, this small kamandalu. You can imagine so what his power is. Okay, all weapon is put into this kamandalu, and he mixed this weapon in the water, holy water, and he drank it. Why? Because fed up, because he couldn't do his daily course. Okay, he was disrupted. He was in between, attacked by asuras for taking these weapons away. He wanted to keep it well protected, because he wanted to return this to Devas. And that is why he cannot every time keep his eyes over them. So what he did, he just mixed it in the kamandalu holy water, and he drank the water. Okay, so now the water mixed with the weapon has gone inside the body. Okay, so now what happened after some days, shortly after he drank this, as if the Devas were waiting for this, they came and they asked Maharshi, sage, Devarshi, oh sage, please, we want, our weapon. The weapon has become more stronger now. We want our weapon. The time is now ripe to fight with asuras. Okay. Now we are very powerful. Now we can fight and defeat them. So please return our weapons. Who asked? Our Devas. They came and requested the sage. What sage will do? What happened to the weapons? Weapon is inside his body. So sage said, oh, this much long time I was waiting for you people, and you people didn't come. I couldn't do my daily meditation. I couldn't do my daily course. Every time I have to keep my eyes on these arsenals that you have given to me, the weapons that you have given to me. And in between, I am attacked by the asuras also. What to do? I drank. This is inside my body now. I mixed it with the holy water and drank it. So now, if you want this weapon, you have to kill me. Just see, you have to kill me. Why? All those weapons became part of my bones. All the weapon that has gone inside my body has become part of my bones. So the Devas were so surprised. They said, oh, and they felt very sad. They said, oh, Devarshi, great sage, we don't want to kill you. We don't want to harm you at all. What we can do, we cannot we want weapons, but we don't want to kill you. So then the sage said, then what is the way out? Okay, this weapons became part of my bones. It became my bones. So if you want weapon, you need my bones. So what I will do, if you can't kill me, I will do one thing. I will kill myself. What a great sacrifice. See, whether he is expecting anything back, whether sage Dadichi is expecting anything back. So he's saying, okay, you give me, I will give you my life so that you give me this. No, nothing. Selflessness. Totally selflessness. Okay, this dana is of highest magnitude. That is why this is called supreme sacrifice. The sacrifice of the giving away of life of sage Dhadishi was for the world harmony, peace, because Devas wanted to kill Asura, wanted to defeat us. So because for this, for the goodness of the world peace, what he did, he said, okay, you cannot kill me, then I'll kill myself. So he made a pyre there. Okay, pyre means like, they will assemble all the logs and they give fire to it. Okay, they lit it and the pyre is there, and he entered into the fire. Okay, giving away his life. So actually he he burned when he died, sage, but what is left? His bones are left. And seeing all this, who were bewildered? Devas were bewildered. They were just, they don't know what to do. Like, what happened? We just came and we asked for the weapon. Now, what we have got to see here? The death of the great Rishi. Oh God, what happened? So they were just, spellbound. They couldn't say anything. And that time, what happened? Lord Brahma appeared there. He took the bones of this Rishi from the pyre, that ashes. He took one by one bones, and he made all the weapons. He started making weapons from these bones. Okay, each bone he took, he made each weapons. Okay, to give to Devas, and from the backbone of the sage Dadichi was made the very lethal, very powerful weapon Vajra. The weapon Vajra was made from the backbone of Dhadichi. Okay?
Dhadichi Maharshi.
Yeah, Dhadichi, sage Dhadichi. And, and this was given to Lord Indra. This was given to Indra Deva. And all the Devas, other Devas were given all other weapons. And now the weapons became very strong. Why weapons became very strong? Because these are the bones of the greatest sage. You know how great he is? Nah? He just gave his life for nothing back. He gave his life. He just, sacrificed himself. For what? For the world peace, for the goodness of the world. So he gave his life there. And with this Vajra became the very powerful weapon. Okay, all the weapons became very powerful, and the most powerful weapon was this Vajra. And with the Vajra, the Indra Deva killed Vritrasura. So the serpent, dragon demon, Rakshasa was killed using this Vajra. And this sacrifice is considered as most supreme sacrifice of Hindu mythology. And so many personalities have done the sacrifices. But the most the well-known, the highest of this is the supreme sacrifice done by Dhadichi Maharshi. And other personas of Hindu mythology who have done such sacrifices. Do you know? Anybody knows such sacrifices done? Anybody can volunteer? Yeah, loudly. Yes.
Vishwamitra.
Pardon? I can't hear. Who else have done such sacrifices before? I mean, other than, besides Sage Dharichi, who else? Which personality? Other personality, from Hindu mythology, you can just give me names of personalities who have given supreme sacrifices. Nothing. They gave this dana, they did this dana for nothing. They didn't take anything back. They just gave this for something, a big cause. They did. Who? You know about Bhishma? Bhishma?
Yeah.
Bhishma Pitamaha. Yeah, what he did?
I didn't know, Mataji.
Yeah, he took the great war before Satyavati, his father's second wife, that he will not marry. Won't be having a married life. That was a great vow taken by him. That is called Bhishma Pradijna. So Bhishma is one of the personality who has taken, for the happiness of his father. The sacrifice was meant for his father. The same way, another sacrifice by Puru. By Puru, the son of Yayati, he also sacrificed for his father. He took the old age. Puru was the son of Yayadi. Yayadi got the curse of, the old age. So, and Puru was very young son, of Yayadi. But Yayadi was not enough. He wanted to live more. So what happened? Puru said, okay, father, you go forward. I will take your old age and you take my, youth. So he exchanged old age, his father's old age, with youth. See, so that is one of the greatest sacrifice by Puru, son of Yayadi. So these are all supreme sacrifices. These sacrifices, they are, they give some of the personalities, they give part of their body also. All wealth, knowledge, everything they give in sacrifice. They give that without taking anything back. Okay. The same way Karna. Kunti's first child is Karna. And Karna, what he did? He gave Kavacha Kundala. Yeah, he gave Kavacha Kundala. Kavacha Kundala was there, was gifted to him by his father Surya Deva, which was part of his body. Kavacha Kundala. And without Kavacha Kundala, he is not safe. Karna is not safe because that protects his body. It was given to him by his father, Surya Deva. And this Kavacha Kundala, and Indradeva knows that Arjuna won't be able to defeat Karna with the Kavacha Kundala on his body. So he came in the form of an old man. Okay. He came in the form of an old man and asked for dana. Karna was a big, he all for dani. He was a very, very big dani. Dani means a person who gives. Whoever asks him, he will just give. So the Indra, he impersonated in the form of an old man. He came to Karna's, tent, and he asked, "Oh, Karna, we heard about you. You are a great Dani. So please, I am an old man. I want some from you. Please give me. I want some dana from you." So Karna promised. Karna knows actually, Karna promised, okay. So whatever you ask, I will give. So then what Indra asked, I want your Kavacha Kundala. So Karna said, I will give you any wealth, but please. But what happened? Indra insisted and he gave his Kavacha Kundala. So these personalities are there in Hindu mythology who selflessly give dana. That may be their own life, their own, maybe their body part, their stage of life, their youth. So, I mean, no, they give these sacrifices, for to others without expecting anything back. So, such sacrifices you call as supreme sacrifices. So, what we mean is that dana. Okay, am I audible? Can you hear me clearly? Is it possible for you
Yes,
to hear?
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Hope you understood this Dadichi sage, Dadichi's Maharshi, Dadichi's great supreme sacrifice. Hope you understood. I'll come back to questions after my second story. Okay, so that we can just maintain time. I will go forward with the next story. Okay. And I just want you people to write in the chat box what is that you understood from the sage Dadichi's, Maharshi Dadichi's story that we learned just now. So now I am going to the second one, where the title of this, God is the provider. God provides. How many agree with me? God provides. Oh, how many here agree with me? There is no agreement. Nobody is agreeing. So you feel that your parents only providing?
No,
Huh?
Mataji. Only God provide us this body.
Yeah, that is true. So the thing is that yes. So I think this is a story based in Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, one of the states in India. And there was a king, okay? He was a very generous king. Who is a generous? What do you mean by generous? A person who gives dana, okay? Who gives wealth, or he gives money, or he gives food, or so who gives help. You call them generous, okay? So this king was a generous king, very generous. And every day, two beggars used to go to this visit this king's palace every day. And king used to give them money and food. Okay, so one was a little older man and one is a younger. So two beggars, one is elder one and one is a age wise, when you see, one is the elder one and other one is a younger one. Okay, and whenever they get this dana from the when they receive this dana from the king, the gift from the king, food, whether it be in the form of food, whether it be in the form of money, when they get it, they immediately say, God, the older one will say, the elder of the beggars will say, God provides. He says like that, like in the form of a thanks, in the form of thanks, he'll say, God provides. Okay, but the younger one will say, the younger beggar will say, King provides. So both of them will thank King by saying these two words. So one will say, the elder of two will say, God provides, and the younger of two will say, younger of the two beggars will say, King provides. So the king heard this, and what happened? The king was feeling that, okay, I should teach this elder one a lesson. I am the one who is giving. I am the one who is a benefactor, who is their benefactor, because I am providing them. So what the elder one should say, not God provides, he should say, King provides. This is what the king wanted, and he was very happy with the younger beggar. So for proving this to the, the older beggar, older one, what he did, he asked one day, okay, usually you go in one road. So today you don't go through that road. Don't follow that usual road. You take another road, a less taken one. Another road is there, and this is less used road. So you do one thing. don't go from the usual way you are going. Go through a track, a road, which is less used, okay? And so king suggested this. And he made it a point that the younger one will go first because he used to like the younger beggar. Why king took liking towards the younger brother? Tell me.
Because the younger beggars said always say that the king provides.
Yeah, because the younger one said that king son always, thanked him by saying king provides. So he liked to hear this. And because everybody, we want to hear somebody praising us, no? This is not, something unusual. All of us, if somebody praises us, we feel very happy. So the king was very happy with the younger one because the younger one says the king provides, okay? So then what happened? So he was walking by, the younger beggar was walking, and he saw that the road was very beautiful. The two sides, very, very beautiful plants were there, trees were there, and the road was wide. There is no traffic on the road. Oh, he said, I can walk with my eyes closed. What did he say? In this road, I can walk with my eyes closed. So he started walking with his eyes closed. So he just went. So he thought, oh, king wants me to, appreciate this road, this beauty. Oh, king wants me to do that. So he just, went. And the next day, king asked both the beggars, so what happened? Anything unusual happened? Yesterday, what happened? So he expected something from and meaningfully he looked at the younger beggar. I mean,
unusual happened.
Yeah. So he said, oh, nothing happened. Oh, yeah, I took that road suggested by No Majesty. It was very beautiful. The road was very beautiful. And, in both sides, I could see, very good trees, plants and all. And it is not very less used. And the road was also very smooth, very good road. I could walk with my eyes closed. I walked with my eyes closed. I didn't find anything. And then the king asked the elder one, okay, whether anything happened to you offhandedly. He didn't expect anything. Oh, yes. Oh, your majesty. Something unusual happened with me. What is that? Then he said, oh, I found a purse full of gold coins. What? King was so surprised. I meant to give this purse full of gold coins to whom? To the younger one who always thanks me, but it has gone to the elder one. Yeah. So then immediately the elder one said, oh, God provides. Oh, who felt very bad? Furthermore, the king got angry. This man, he's again seeing what God provides. I don't want to hear this. Okay, I want to prove him wrong. For that, what he did, he said, okay, one thing, he gave, okay, to the younger one a pumpkin, a yellow, very beautiful pumpkin he gave. So to the younger brother. So after giving food and this thing, okay. So they went back. On their way back, what happened? The younger brother said, oh, why I don't want this pumpkin. Why I want this pumpkin? If I sell this pumpkin, I will get some more coins. He already got some coins from the king. Okay, so he thought, okay, if I sell this pumpkin, I can make some more, money. So what he did, he sold
the pumpkin to a merchant.
Yeah, merchant. You know what was that? And next day, again, as usual, they went to king's palace. So the king asked, okay, yesterday what happened? He looked at the younger one. Yes, what happened with you? Anything unusual happened? So then he said, nothing unusual. Yeah, you know what happened when I went back? You gave me a very beautiful, good majesty. You are so kind hearted. You gave me a pumpkin. No, what I did with that pumpkin, I sold. I thought I can make more money. I sold that pumpkin. I got few more coins. Okay, I had already some coins with me. So, but what you gave, when I sold this pumpkin, I got a good price. I got few more coins. King got, King got very desperate. He was not expecting this. Then he asked the other one, elder one, what happened to you? Anything unusual happened? Anything happened specially? So then he said, yes, your majesty, very unusual thing happened with me. Yesterday, one merchant gave me a pumpkin, and very beautiful pumpkin. And when I took this pumpkin to my home and cut, I saw that the inside of the pumpkin is filled with silver coins. Okay, the inside was hollowed. It was the inside the pumpkin there was no flesh, but it was filled with silver coins. Alas, what to say? What more to say? Oh, God provides. Just see, actually, the king meant to give money, gold, everything to the younger one who was praising him, thanking him. But all were going to whom? The elder one. Yeah? Yes? Not purposely. Somehow it has gone. It has wended that way. So that is a mercy of the God. Anything that we have, it is not coming to us by luck. Okay? Don't think that, see, I am getting this thing by luck or because I have done this. Even if you are putting your 100%, effort, whatever you do, but ultimately whatever you are getting is because the God, Krishna is giving you. So because of that, whatever we are having, it is because the God is giving. Whatever we are going to get, it is because the God is providing us. It is not coming by luck. So whatever is coming on your way, say thanks to God. Yes. So, yes, in the first thing, I in the Sage Dhadichi's, Maharshi Dhadichi's, story, I think that is what Sarvesh wrote in the chat box. We can give our body to get dharma for rising. Everything is given by love. Yes, two morals. So this is given by Sarvesh. Good, Sarvesh. Very good that you have written both the
Thank you,
morals.
Mataji.
So, yes. So, the supreme sacrifice is the sacrifice expecting nothing. Okay, when you give dana selflessly, when you give selflessly, then only it will become a sacrifice. Whatever you are giving, whatever money, wealth, whatever food, clothes, giving, whatever you are giving, expecting something back, you cannot call it as a dana. It is not a sacrifice. That will not, amount to a sacrifice. So whenever you are giving a dana, please give that selflessly. Okay? So that is how, and how they were giving their life itself to save dharma. That is one point that Sarvesh has written that I appreciate a lot. For dharma to prevail, the Dhadiji sage Devarshi Dhadiji has given his life itself. The same way we also, for dharma to prevail, for good things to prevail, for good qualities to prevail, we also should set ourselves example as example by and the second one is that whatever we have, whatever we are provided with, yes, that for to whom we are thankful to the Lord himself. Only the Bhagavan is the one who is bestowing us with all money, wealth, or opportunities, whatever it be, okay, that is coming on our way is the giving of the God Himself. Okay. So anybody else? Yeah, Neil has written, whatever we are getting, we should accept it because the Lord is giving. Yeah, it is given by the Lord. Yes, Neil. Very good. Yes. Whatever we are getting, whatever we are coming across, whether it be in the form of money, whether it be in the form of opportunity, whether it be in the form of food, whatever be, it is the grace of God, and we should humbly take it and thank God. And okay,
Thank God
and yes,
if it
we
is
should
bad
be
or
for
good,
the
because
yes,
God is doing
yes,
all things.
yes, yes. Whether it be bad or good, yes, Sarvesh, you got a point there. We should not be feeling unhappy for whatever the sadness or the bad experiences that are coming in our way. That is, we should think that whenever any sad experience, yeah, something bad comes in our way, that is for good. And timely, futuristically, that will give us good. Okay, so that is about both the stories. I hope all of you enjoyed, all of you understood, and unfortunately, this